Hello, everyone. I am at the moment making a pre workout meal. Um, and I've been wanting to talk about something, and I didn't know exactly how to bring it up or how to word it. And then it finally hit me um, yesterday or the day before. It finally hit me, and I thought, I should say this. A lot of people chase a goal, and that usually doesn't end up working. People, let's say they're a certain amount overweight, or they're a certain amount, they want to put on a certain amount of muscle, and they have this goal, and they're chasing it, and it will actually wear you out. And because you're not achieving that goal right away, people lose interest or start to think negatively and think maybe they can't do it. What you do is stick to a program. Just adhere to a program. And that's where people that don't think about adhering to a program really fail, is just stick to the program, and eventually down the road it happens. And one of the biggest things that I run into with clients is getting them to stick to food. Um, when I got into coaching people that weren't competitors, I had never realized how addicted to food America was. When you're coaching competitors, they want to win the competition so bad that they don't care how miserable they feel at certain times, or how bad cravings are, because they're wanting to win that competition outweighs the want for some crap carbohydrates. And just for the dopamine burst of some sort of jelly crossing your tongue, think of what's going on in our body, right? And one of my biggest things is, because of the health issues that I had and have dealt with, one of my main goals is to help people achieve goals and stay healthy. And I've proven that with the hormones. People that know Coach Johan, it helped him. He can testify to that. We don't have to have we don't have to have all these massive doses of things and things like that. It can be done healthily. And the food, we can, as long as you're focusing on more protein than anything, is the most important part. And it is not cool, you look at write your macros down every day. And I'm not even going to get into the food list right here. Is, like, look at your macros at the end of the day. And if your carbs and fats outweigh your protein, we are what we eat. You know what I mean? For the most part, there's some fats we can get away with, and protein does nothing but good. But certain fats and carbohydrates, if they outweigh your protein, guess what you're going to be? You're going to be mostly fat. The muscle mass isn't going to, and you might even build some muscle, say, if the protein was high enough. But if your certain fats and all carbs are too high, you're going to be muscular and fat, you know. So adhering to a program, and eventually food addictions go away if you quit eating the shit. But you have to stop. It's like any kind of drug addiction. It's just like some of the medications that I'm weaning off of. You know, I have to continuously in my mind be coming off, and eventually you're off them, and then they go away. Or it's like a nicotine habit. You know, if somebody after a while eventually goes days without even thinking about it, then they're over it. Then just don't return. But eating a bunch of crap food, a lot of people don't even realize we're not talking about just what we look like. We're talking about our health and our life expectancy and even the quality of life. Like, people that work out and eat healthy and push themselves, some people live to be 100 years old and feel pretty good and are mentally there. But with crap food, they all have diabetes and dementia and die early. So, and they don't even think of it properly. I've heard people say as stupid of things as like, well, when you get older, beauty and sexy aren't there, so it doesn't matter. Might as well eat what you want. That's not what it's about. It's about living a healthy life and taking care of the body that God gave us. And I will be the first one to admit that I massively abused my body at one time. And all these young guys, they're too busy looking at these big guys and thinking that what they're taking is what's necessary to get big, and they don't even realize that a lot of us already went down that road, and we know, and we tried it, and we know that taking all that shit isn't necessary. And I have some professional bodybuilders and some videos on my YouTube that are even admitting to that now and adhering to, our hormone protocol. And I have some young guys that adhered to it, and they in a year put on 30 pounds of muscle. I have friends now that are almost 50 years old looking better than they did in their 20s when they were taking stuff. And that people don't understand hormones and things like that, and a lot of these steroids, they're all just derivatives of testosterone or nortestosterone, and they all pretty much do the same thing no matter what you're taking, other than like right before a bodybuilding contest, maybe one for a few weeks could replace testosterone so you wouldn't retain some water or something like that, but it wouldn't even have to be but a couple of weeks. Literally. There's no product out there that's the secret key that's going to put a bunch of muscle on a guy or burn a bunch of fat, and people are all looking for what to shove in their body, when the consistency of sticking to the program of working out, and I see people constantly jumping from program to program to program to program, like when it comes to working out, all over the place, and then their diets all over the place, and they lose everything. And it's about laying back and being consistent and understanding that it's a lifestyle, and it's just, this is the rest of my, this is the rest of my life. That's why when it comes to eating, I teach guys how to eat and then maintain that for the rest of their life. And I see a lot of people It's, you know, they'll do good for a while, but then they slowly slip, and because, well, that slip was okay, and then pretty soon they're slipping every week. There's always an excuse, whether it's a holiday or it was somebody's birthday or something like that. And I just like, when I go to, let's say, the fiance's dad's birthday and just visit him and say hi, I don't eat cake or cookies or any of that crap. I'm there to say happy birthday and visit. Just because it's there doesn't, and it's somebody's birthday, doesn't mean that it's a necessity to eat that shit. And that sort of mindset is what's going to make you lose. And you realize how bad that is for you, and actually grow somewhat of a hatred for it, because you realize that it's just empty garbage that has nothing but bad health effects. And when it comes to like anabolics, I'll sit down and make a video if people want and say every damn anabolic and peptide and everything that I took. Phil Hernan and I sold peptides and tried every single one of them. And that's why I say just take Humanifort. It's the full spectrum of natural occurring growth factors, and it has no adverse health effects and does nothing but positive, and is incredible for muscle recovery. The more of it you take, the better your recovery is. The more of it you take, the better off you are. The bare minimum is 1 twice a day, but the more you take, the more you'll notice. And it's regenerating your entire body from head to toe. Bones, ligaments, brain, literally stuff in your brain, your eyes, muscle, you name it. Your organs, and all that's synergenic. If that's all healthy and running 100%, then even digestion, you're going to absorb more of the nutrients that you eat, things like that. So when I myself even, I have things I'm going through. I'm going through some hard times with some stuff right now, but I'm going to stick to a program that's easy for me to stick to right now, and just stick to it. I'm going to the gym. There's a few things I do there, but otherwise, every day to every other day, I'm going to be doing X3 RDLs, X3 calves, single leg Bosu ball squats for sure, and I might do the X3 squat belt. And then, shoulder press, lateral raises, things like that. And some days I'm going to do like some back and buys or back and shoulders or whatever, and then later I'll hit legs, because I'll just do a couple sets to failure, and I'll just keep doing it every day, instead of doing some long drawn out workout that I'm just not going to be comfortable with. I'm going to be doing something that I'm comfortable with. And when it comes to heart health, resistance training is far more important than just like aerobic type exercise, going for walks, things like that. Now, that stuff is important, don't get me wrong, but resistance training is key for heart health, overall circulation, and the stronger we are and leaner we are, and eating properly and not overexposing ourselves to a bunch of crap hormones, we will live a much better quality life, you know, rather than just thinking about one thing. We'll be able to think about many things as we get older. So I just wanted to say that because it's something that I've been trying to kind of put into words, and I've had a hard time. So rather than chasing a goal, adhere to a program. That's the way to go. All right? Everybody, have a great day. Take your Humanofort. All right? Talk to you later.